someone said to me, you're going to have to make 10 ads a week or something. And I was just completely overwhelmed by that. And I was like, what? I've never even made an ad in my life before because the agency used to do them for me.
Could you maybe talk through the experience of holding the line and repeatedly make an ad after ad after ad when it feels like they're not working?
I realised that the difference between success and failure for my brand at that point in time was the quality of my creative. And that's when I went from probably 20 grand in July to 56K in August.
Literally kind of tripled the business in a month off the back of 2 key ads.
Do one thing, do it well, do it better, do it best, and then you can move on. I need to really focus just on meta and just on creative. And all the other channels can come later.
I remember telling you, like, I'll let you know when it's going to be an advertorial funnel, a quiz funnel, a new region, TikTok traffic on top. I'll let you know. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Haven't reached the bar where we can say, maybe meta creative isn't the focus.
Yeah.
One of the things that people think, well, if I niche down, I'll lose all those other sales.
Do you want a tiny piece of a massive pie, or do you want a bigger piece of a smaller pie?
You can look at the ad libraries and the swipe files and the competitors and the fancy guys and podcasts as much as you like, but what really matters is your data, your account, what's working for us. Larger brands didn't become larger brands by doing what large brands do.
Yeah.
Can we review those couple of breakout ads? We're doing a bit of tactical stuff at the end. George is going to kill me for this, but I don't care. Okay, Lou, welcome back to Spill the Tea.
Thank you.
For episode 2, you're our first original guest, and today's going to be a really practical discussion of rapidly scaling a brand. I think we scaled 15x, right, from March to October, ran out of stock just before Black Friday, got it in, hit record months, and then come through to January where we are growing again, still 10x on last year. So we're going to talk to building a single product store, the creative strategy that saw us achieve those results, demand planning and management of the demand planning, and I guess the mindset that was required to scale the business by 10 to 15x in a short period of time. And so hopefully people will walk away with a really practical understanding of what it looks and feels like to scale a business that fast, and I think the resilience that you need to hold the line when things feel a little bit confusing and stressful, because we've had plenty of those moments along the journey, right?
Yeah.
So if we kick off, maybe a little bit of background on yourself and the brand, like the elevator pitch, just to wet people's whistle.
So classic entrepreneur founder story, I was solving my own problem.
Yeah.
So I hit 50, was really struggling to work, couldn't exercise anymore, didn't recognise myself. So I started exploring routines and supplements to try and counteract that. Visited the doctor for hormones, that sort of helped, but yeah, there was more to it. So I started sort of taking a whole lot of supplements, different sources, different amounts, and realised there's a whole lot of friction around that. So I was at one point taking up to 15 different supplements, 30 different bottles, 10 different suppliers, and it all just got really hard. So a friend said to me, I want those supplements, and I realised that to actually explain to her how to take them and where to get them from was too much friction. So I thought I'm just going to put it all into one solution, one daily drink. It had to taste great, had to be highly effective. So I did all the science, looked really deep into the science as to what causes ageing and what ingredients help combat that, and Ageless You was born.
Awesome. And that was maybe 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago now.
I launched nearly 2 years ago, yeah,
2
but
years
it took
ago.
me a good year from the aha moment to launching was 14 months.
Okay. And then a year with a couple of agencies struggling to figure it out.
Yes. I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know, which didn't help. But yeah, put all my faith in an agency that, just did the usual, give you probably 20 minutes a week looking into your account, no success, no feedback.
Not enough firepower to really cut through the noise.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so then we joined the accelerator, and I remember going through a journey there with you where the first 3 or 4 months, we maybe went from $6,000 a month to 15 or 20. It was kind of like, it was hard going. And I remember we had a series of conversations over multiple months where you're like, what next? How do we get this moving? We're seeing some results, but not enough. And my response for a good few months there was, we still haven't produced an ad of the quality that we need to see before we can move on to a new task. And so could you maybe talk through the experience of holding the line and repeatedly make an ad after ad after ad when it feels like they're not working, and what you were going through, and then the ultimate conclusion of that when we actually broke through and had some success?
I remember going into the, first induction of being with the e-commerce accelerator, and someone said to me, you're going to have to make 10 ads a week or something. And I was just completely overwhelmed by that. And I was like, what? I've never even made an ad in my life before, because the agency used to do them for me. So I went from huge overwhelm to thinking, okay, I need to embrace this. And as an entrepreneur, you know that you have to embrace this and face your fears. So I made it my singular focus for quite a few months to try and increase the quality of my ads with the help of the e-commerce accelerator. Got heaps of feedback, and they progressively got better, and I got more confident with the process. I did lots of deep dives into who was doing good work, again helped by you guys. And then I just need to think this through when it happened. But yeah, we progressively got better. I realised that the difference between success and failure for my brand at that point in time was the quality of my creative. So that became a very singular focus for me, probably to the expense of other things I should have been doing. Then we did the podcast ad, and then I did a couple of founder ads, which were mimicking some really successful founder ads. I wasn't reinventing the wheel, but really spoke to the pain points and the personal journey, and those were the 2 ads that sort of changed everything. And that's when I went from probably 20 grand in July to, I think, 56K in August.
Yeah, so literally kind of tripled the business in a month off the back of 2 key ads.
Yes.
Which I'm sure we can link for people to have a look at, based on proven frameworks as well, right? Well, one was a bit of a clone of a adjacent competitor with some of our own edits, and one was just a straight up script framework where you essentially inject your story into these existing words as closely as possible.
Yeah.
Coming up, the 3 months leading up to that, before you'd seen that reality, is it landing pages? Should we do a bit of TikTok? Do you remember struggling with, really?
Well, I kept on thinking more is more. And it took me a while to realise that I had to, we were talking about this yesterday, do something really well and make it as better and the best you can before you move on to the next thing. And that's when I realised I needed to really focus just on meta and just on creative. And all the other channels can come later. And then I was thinking, let's go and conquer the world. It's like, no, you guys kept on pulling me in. Do one thing, do it well, do it better, do it best, and then you can move on.
Especially in a category like supplements, the barrier to entry, or the bar, is set high enough that until you crack it and see what we saw, which was breakout growth, there's no point in doing a little bit of Australia and a little bit of TikTok. What brands end up doing is they end up kind of taking the top 5% or the bottom 5% of the low-hanging fruit from multiple different areas, and then you're left back where you started with like a fragmented, stressful workload, but still in the same spot. You haven't actually broken through. So I thought it was such a cool lesson, that, because where I've failed, I guess, as a coach before, or where founders and myself has failed as a mentor-mentee combination is not holding that line, getting there. And then it was cool to see how drastic the result was. 2, 1 podcast ad, trending archetype, and a founder ad, bang, off you go, off to the races. Did you remember how much spend those ads held in the account? Like how much of the total ad spend was then going into those couple of ads when you first got them in?
I wouldn't know the answer to that, probably more than half.
Yeah, more like 80%.
Yeah,
right?
that would have been, my gut would have been between 70 and 80%.
And that's the thing with smaller brands. Is like, guys, when you get there, you'll know what a banger is as a smaller brand if you haven't really had one before. It'll get all the spend. It'll go.
It's still getting all the spend.
So and people talk about, oh, you know, like my ads burn out, they don't last, da 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 da. Still to this day, that's your...
My highest, the ad in July, which in August, August, that had the highest ROAS was the same one just in January this month.
Yeah, which is, and we'll get to that part of the story as well, because that was a bit of a lesson. We started to iterate too widely, right? What we did in January was pull back again. Hold on a minute, UGC's not working. I remember you'd say to me, I've got to get UGC working. Do you remember why you felt like you had to get UGC working?
Well, I guess it's sort of like you look at best practices and meta accounts, and it's like you've got to have a certain amount of founder ads, certain amount of UGC ads, certain amount of static. So I guess I was following that, but I was also looking at a lot of my competitors, and they're all doing UGC. And I used to always look at them and think they all look the same. They're all really underwhelming, but obviously they work.
Yeah, and so that's that real lesson of like, you can look at the ad libraries and the swipe files and the competitors and the fancy guys and podcasts as much as you like, but what really matters is your data, your account, what's working for us. And we went and looked at it and went, hey, we're still doing good numbers here. We're up 1,000% from 9 months ago. Let's get the ad account prioritized around those best performers again, and then let's make not direct clones of those, you know, not just another hook, but let's do that founder ad with a slightly different script in a high production environment, right? Put it in a different vehicle, and let's tell that story through that exact founder story through a high production testimonial ad. And so I think it was just it was a very stark example of, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. Are you sure it's creative? Are you sure it's creative? Are you sure it's creative? Oh, yes, it's creative. Whoa.
Yeah.
And do you credit anything specific in your creative process or system that led you to those best performing ads that you're producing today? Was there anything?
It was you guys pushing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys pushing me, giving me the tools. So showing me where to go and find inspiration, giving me the tools, the airtime in the gyms to actually just get it done, and the systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just, because if we could bottle up what makes you a little bit different to other brand owners, it would be so great. And it's probably hard for you to say, but you did go to every call, you know? Every call, right? Not once a month and then, it didn't work. Every call. And then executed the work, got it done quickly, back again. Watching videos multiple times. I don't understand that. Explain it to me again. And so a real like diligence and kind of you work, and the trust as well. Hey, there's something about the connection between the trust and the, okay, I don't really believe it, but they're saying this thing. Because I think I want to empathize for founders that are in that stage where they haven't cracked it yet, or they've had a big result, the market's shifted, they haven't had some winners again, and they feel like, you know, it's not this strategy that everyone's telling me is going to work or that's working for everyone else. It can feel quite daunting, and it can feel a lot easier to start a new thing.
Yeah. I mean, going back to trust, I mean, a lot of people probably, like I had been, have been burnt with previous partners, not business partners, agencies, and you do get a bit untrusting of their advice.
Bit jaded, eh?
Yeah, but I don't know, there was something about the e-commerce accelerator that I could see that you all actually had your own success and you'd all been successful in your own right. And I really trusted that, and I decided that I had to really go with that trust, and I was all in. So I was literally like, a little puppy dog. Tell me what to do, I'll do it. Tell me what to do, I'll do it. Tell me what to do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's a really good way of putting it. It was the trust.
Yeah, that then translated into action. Because with the doubt, you're not going to just keep smacking your head against this wall. Sorry, we'll go again.
Yeah.
I remember telling you, like, I'll let you know when it's going to be an advertorial funnel, a quiz funnel, a new region, TikTok traffic on top. I'll let you know. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
We haven't reached the bar where we can say, maybe Meta Creative isn't the focus.
Yeah, yeah.
And so at a similar time that we produced the creative, I don't know the exact timeline, but you also moved the website structure to a single product focused store. Can you talk me through that component, website side?
That was around the same time that we sort of started to work with you. It was quite early on in the piece.
Okay.
And the coach Nathan looked at the website.
Nathan from Backbone?
Yes.
Had a great episode with him.
Oh, right, yeah, no, awesome. He looked at it and he just, I don't know, he just looked at it and he said, have you ever thought about making it single store? Because I basically had two products. He's looking at my conversion rate and he said, I have this hunch that you're going to do better as a single product store focus. So we took the second product off the homepage and basically made it a one single product website. You could go and find the other product, and then I went and put the second product in the cart, which is actually selling me more than actually having it, as
I love that story, right? Because you're going, scarcity mindset, you're going, well, what do you mean I've put all this time and energy in the thing and I have to take it out?
Yeah.
And so then removing it from the page, and so when people would land on the homepage, you'd be kind of talking to the longevity supplement and a little bit of the skin.
Yeah.
And you'd have a collection.
Yeah.
Right, and so people are then ending up on the skin product page and getting a bit lost. And
and I think it was attracting the wrong people to the brand as well, because the skin was more of a vanity product, and it was just muddling the message.
Yeah.
And it became very singularly focused, and my conversion rate went up by about 1.5% the minute we did that.
Boom.
And the ads also mirrored the one single product.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you could talk to one thing. It's just the story of focus.
Yeah.
And I love that little story as well. So then what did you do with the other product? You didn't remove it entirely. You put it as an in-cart upsell and post-purchase upsell?
Yes.
And offered it as a deal.
Yeah.
So simple. There are so many supplement brands out there right now that would do better by going, what do we sell the most of? When people buy product A, which product gives us the highest average repeat purchase? Which product predicts a longer term higher average order value? What do we sell the most of? Get rid of the other stuff, go into that. We've done it. I've done that multiple times, succeeded every time. So that was cool. That was like the two little pieces coming together, and it was all about focus, right? It's just that classic story, like a simple but not easy technique to guarantee success. So we're cruising along, and we're scaling rapidly. And you've done your sums, like, I'll keep in stock. I'll be fine. 10x growth. Who cares? And then, what happens in October?
So that's the double-edged sword of being so singularly focused on creative.
Yeah.
I dropped the ball. There's no other way of putting it. I just dropped the ball, and I didn't look forward further enough, and I saw my demand increasing, but I never really took the time to work out how long it was going to last. And by the time I did, it potentially wasn't going to be too late because I got all the balls in motion, but one thing got held up, which was the packaging.
Yes, and there you go. What did we say about that? Because we are the trusted. Did we signal that alarm at all, or we didn't really give you enough to go on there? Because that's our responsibility as well.
Yeah, I get that sort of never really came up, actually. Yeah, demand planning.
Yeah.
But once I had the problem, you guys jumped on it, and I was in the gym with the finance.
We should have done a better job
gym.
there, though. And I guess it also happened. It happened faster than I expected, from the like 15, 20 to like 50 to whatever. It was just like boomfa. When it went so quickly. And that was actually, it was a learning for me.
But it's a really common problem in e-commerce businesses. I say, I so often see out of stock, and you see an ad and it says, we've run out of stock 4 times this year, and I always go, is that because your demand's gone up, or your actually demand planning hasn't been working too well? It's probably a bit of both.
Or are you making it up?
Yeah. But maybe you could have a training in the school, and the training, you could have a module.
And we do, because
planning.
Smooth growth is fast. You you want to, instead of doing this like step up thing, you want to kind of hit a smooth curve. And I think we got to that, we didn't get to that in time. We've now, and I took that quite personally, because we're working closely together, right? I was like, we should have had the tools in place for, hey, and when it starts to go, here's what the demand planning system looks like, which we now have. We've got the finance gym, we've got Amit, we've got Diane.
Yeah, and there's a simple spreadsheet that I'm using that at the moment suffices. I don't need a big, huge demand planning platform.
Which works. And so that's that perpetual, and we're like, I know that. I've been doing this 15 years, I know that. But, that caught me off guard. And I think also, like you say, it was that just-in-time thing, right? It's the severity of a stock out for a supplement business on retention. It's different to a fashion brand. That kind of is like part of the game. You want to sell out, right?
You're calling it daily. I'm calling my product, you've got to take it daily, and you suddenly can't take it.
Yeah, that's a problem. What happened there? The packaging supplier had a mishap at their factory, or?
Well, I actually ran out of stock twice last year. The first one was a delay in the packaging because there was a storm at the sea in the ocean in China.
Yeah, just a storm, weather.
Yeah, weather. So now I know I need to add another month to the process for those sorts of things happening. The second time I ran out, that was unforeseen in the fact that we do third-party quality testing, and that took 2 weeks longer than I had ever anticipated. So now it's another 2 weeks that I have to add to the process to allow for those delays in the third-party testing labs.
Yeah. And if we're going to find out at any point, 80 grand a month, whatever, it's the time to figure it out. And we've now got the system in place. We've now got the buffer zones required with the suppliers, so that when we're on this rocket again in bigger markets, doing 200 grand, 500 grand, where it doesn't happen again. Good lesson to learn early. Painful though. How did you deal with the stock out with the customers?
The first one was fine because I saw it quick enough, so I had enough safety stock for my subscribers.
Cool.
The second time, I really got caught off guard, and I didn't have enough safety stock for my subscribers. It was a headache. It was such a nightmare.
Yeah.
I spent all my time liaising with customers, saying, "Well, this is when you're going to get it. This is when and people emailing me saying, "Where's my product?" And I mean, to turn the ads off was, turn the ads right down was that. So there wasn't a lot of demand coming through from that. But yeah, it was the subscriber base that was a nightmare. And I'll never do that again. Another lesson learned, always have safety stock. So when I do my demand planning, it allows for the safety stock of how many either subscribers I've got.
And it was also different, because that first time when you had the breakout, it was a bit different, right? You were a bit capital constrained, didn't want to sit on too much stock. Is this going to work? There's all those conversations. And now it's like, hoorah, we've got a business. We can do those things.
Yeah.
So yeah, valuable lessons learned. During stockouts, I think we talked about this, active, aggressive comms up front. Send them a little video every day. Let them know where it is.
So that's what you told me,
Yeah.
and I did that. Videos obviously on my socials. Every 4 days, I was emailing them, giving them updates.
Yeah, lots of comms. When something's going wrong, and you know this, and you just want to know, right?
Yeah.
Opportunities, offers. Did you offer them anything? How did you manage that?
So I'm just trying to recall. Well, with subscribers, it's hard to give them an offer on something they're already getting, but I gave them an upsell offer on the skin, on my second product,
Cool.
and that was it, really. It was really just...
Free skin.
Yeah, I wasn't free, it was... I have to think this through.
Did you lose any subscribers through the process?
No.
No.
Not one. Oh, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So it might have been a bit of drop. And I always think, I've always said this, during events like that, with the right approach to the customer service, with generous make good opportunities, you actually develop stronger relationships with customers. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being a founder-led brand, I have quite a personal relationships with all my customers anyway,
Yeah. and
everything still comes from me. So I sort of kept it quite personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so that makes sense. And then you came, was the first one pre-Black Friday and the second one post-Black Friday?
Yeah. The first one was only a short week. I was out of stock. The second
Yeah.
one was the painful one.
Yeah, that's tough, eh? Yeah. Was there anything that you did differently in the Black Friday push, or was it just scaling the ads and putting a bit of an offer on?
I went early because I didn't want to pay such high costs during Black Friday, so I did early November.
Cool.
And because I'd run out of stock, I only put aside a certain amount of stock for Black Friday, and that was sort of my...
I can sell this.
That was my offer. It was, 30% off only while we have a certain amount of stocks. And the people normally say, oh, well, while stocks last, but I had a countdown of how many units I was prepared to sell. I didn't want to run out of stock. Yes.
Cool.
And that was the communications. We don't want to sell out of stock again, so we were only putting X units aside for Black Friday, and the minute we've sold them all, we're in, we're out, deal's done, move on.
And did you finish pretty early? Or?
In 2 weeks. And the good thing was I sold out. I got to that point before Black Friday started when the CPMs started going up dramatically.
Cool, perfect. Yeah. So then you come through that, and do you remember, were there any kind of emotional issues or mindset stuff that you had to deal with during the stock out events and the second one? Were you beating yourself up? Did you get demoralised at all? How did you deal with it personally?
I got really cross with myself.
Really?
Yeah. But, I guess being an entrepreneur, you just got to learn from your mistakes. And F isn't failure, F is feedback. So I just thought, I've just got to learn from this and make sure it never happens again.
Yeah, cool.
And, at the end of the day, we're all only human. And we do make mistakes. So as long as the customers don't probably appreciate that, but I kept on communicating with them, and it was the best I could do.
Yeah, 100%. And then you zoom out and you go, hold on a minute, I'm still up 10x. This is pretty bloody good. Yeah. Like I'm out here playing the game. Okay, and so then we go through into the new year, and bit of fear again, bit of uncertainty. It's cool. You've had like a compressed growth journey with these learnings, right? Can you talk me through what happens when you get stock back in and come into January?
Well, I think Christmas, and it depends on what market you're in.
Sure.
But Black Friday and Christmas is quite a lumpy sort of demand, and I didn't really know what to expect with supplements. And I've got my subscriber base, so that's good. Everyone's taking them monthly. But everyone bought on Black Friday, obviously, and suddenly in December, everything stopped. And I was like, oh, God. People aren't buying for themselves, they're buying gifts. So the demand got completely sucked out of the account.
Right.
But we still did okay. I was pretty happy with it.
Yep.
And then, Christmas, and then Boxing Day came, and I thought, right, everyone's going to be buying for themselves again on Boxing Day, but no, that didn't happen. And it didn't happen in the first week in January either, and then I started getting really worried. So that's when I came to you guys, and we, again, went back to the creative, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we tweaked the creative, and off again, and I had a record month.
Yeah. Bang.
Second record month, sort of.
Yeah.
Next from Black Friday.
Taking the Black Friday peak out, but we're back on, again, more than 10x up again on year-on-year comparisons coming through. So I think that was a really interesting experience for me to watch for you, and it spoke to playing to your strengths. We've gotten quite good at understanding the customers, making the creative, but managing the ad account was a stressful experience for you, didn't like the numbers. Why? What do you think it was about the ad account management? Some people go to that like a duck to water and they hate the creative.
I think maybe it's just the way my brain works. I love the creative, and I look in the account, and I guess I think that I haven't got enough experience to make those calls. I mean, I can manage my way in the account, I can upload it, do all that, but it was actually making those calls. It's how do you structure the account? Where do you put the ads? When do you turn the ads on and off? Because I look in the gyms, and Tyler will go quite deep into the data, and I hadn't quite worked out how to do that. And I think it was just my bandwidth as well. There was only so much I could focus on, and very much on my own in this process. I don't have a whole lot of staff running around helping me.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it was a bandwidth thing, and I subconsciously probably put all my effort into the creative and relied on you guys to run the account. But then when I was left on my own over Christmas to sort of try and manage it myself, I realised, and you realised, that I hadn't built that skill set up in the last 12 months.
You hadn't got further enough along, and that was.
But I had flagged it to you a few months ago and said I don't feel comfortable about this. It's not my skill set.
And we have a fractional program, which is, it's not an agency you've been working with, Tyler, now. It's just where we'll step into a business for a limited period of time, run the accounts, get it up to KPI, recruit a team member to replace ourselves, and then move on. And it's a nice stopgap, because sometimes, and agencies aren't bad, it's just most of them are. All of them aren't. And I'd said to you, I just think it's too early. I think you're too small. I think it's too much of the cash going in. And then, the canary in the coal mine was looking at that ad account. You were going doom and gloom. You were going, what's going on? And I looked in there and went, gosh, these front-end metrics are good. Well, there's easy wins. We just need to reallocate around this top-performing creative. Show me the pipeline of ads that came out. Wasn't connected to best performers. And there was a couple easy wins there. So then again, it speaks to this thing of focus, like optimize the single product store, make the creative, run the meta account well, back into record months. So it was interesting there. I think my learning from that was, if you're coming into this pretty cold and you're at that 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month range as solo founder, I think it's really hard to learn all the disciplines all at once. A lot of our brands, there's two of them. One will do the ads, one will do the creative.
Yeah.
They kind of, and then you can have a bit of conversation around it.
Yeah.
And that was working when you had Tyler, right? Because you're going to every gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was an interesting experience for me. And I think it's funny, I keep saying that running the ads is easy. It doesn't take that much time. But then there is something about, it's easy if you're confident.
Yeah, it's easy if you know if you look at it. I mean, it's easy to manage your way around it,
clicking the buttons
your way around it. But you've got to make that decision to click that button, and it's like you've got 20 years experience to know what clicking that button on or off will do, or upping the budget, or turning that off, turning that on, it's just you can't. You're drinking water out of a fire hose as it is, and there's only so much you can take on.
Cool. And so, could you speak to the creative strategy changes we made during that January period? How did we relook at what we were going to make next, what we were going to release?
We just looked at our banger ads, the founder ones, and tweaked them for New Year. It's as simple as that. New Year, new you. Cool. So we put some new hooks on them, and
off they went.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely.
And I knew in December I was thinking, maybe I should do some ads for that, and I just didn't, and I should have.
Yeah.
So lesson learned. Next year, I'll be producing ads in December or even November for the new year. I won't be waiting till the second week in January going, oh dear.
Yeah, cool. Oh dear, what's the plan here? So that was a simple tweak. I think you really resonated with the creatives, we call them prescribed creative systems that we are doing with most of the community members now, where we're giving specific resource inputs, specific outputs, and a cadence, a calendar, and a pipeline to follow in the middle. So can you speak to how that specific set of input and output KPIs around creative has helped you since you saw that?
So are you talking about the system that you set up for?
Yes, we haven't done it yet, but I remember you looked at the
yeah, so I was going to come to the next gym and set it up for you.
when you saw those videos though, what did it do for you? How was that different to what you've been doing?
Because it was completely systemized. So I've got a system which is a hybrid of my own system and the system you first gave me
Yeah.
in the accelerator, and I've sort of hybridized it for myself, and just because it's really been me doing it. But I saw that and I was like, I'm not doing this right. I need to completely follow you guys by the book and create the system, and that's my next task.
Yeah.
Systemize it, because when you're producing more and more assets, you need the systems.
The ad hoc stuff starts to fall over.
Yeah.
And I think there's something emotional that happens when you don't have a clear finish line. What does finished look like? And when your founders end up, and creative strategists and managers, it's just always test more ads, make more creative, but that's not actually true. It's like there has to be a point where I'm done, I'm complete. So that's that, just specifying those exact outputs, specifying the inputs, how many hours go in at what time during the week, and how much cash. And we were having these conversations in last year, but I wasn't getting the adherence. Like, it's like people would like nod and smile and, oh yeah, I'll do it. And
You mean from other clients?
From everyone.
Yeah.
You know? Nod, smile, put the calendar block in. 20% of people will do it. That's about my guess at the moment.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, universal principle. And so now the biggest unlock I've had working with the brands is put the time block in the calendar, make it a meeting, you know?
And with me, might be a meeting with myself, but what does it matter? That's just sitting there, it's blocked off in the...
And you're one of the 20%. You could pull that off. You'll show up to that meeting. Most people won't.
Yeah.
A push it, emails, busy day, whatever. So that's when we've got people in the community now are coming together for the solo founders that don't have a team. They're going...
Oh, having your buddy.
Having your buddy.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I like that idea. Yeah.
Marketing coordinator in the Philippines. Cool. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We've got one brand member that's got a team member that comes into a warehouse and helps her pack all of her stuff. First hour of her workday, they sit together, they do some ad stuff. Because as a human, you know, you don't want to let someone else down. People turn up to 99% of meetings.
Yeah.
I don't know what the math is, but you turn up to 99% of calendar meetings with someone else in them. I reckon people turn up to 20% of solo time blocks.
Yes.
Currently.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also especially in e-commerce because you're kind of a little bit perpetually stressed for a lot of the smaller brands. So team member, buddy, someone from the operations team, doesn't matter,
Yeah.
lock in that sequence. And so we are starting brands now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. An hour on Monday, look at the swipe file, look at the ad account, do your strategy, write the brief, write the script. Wednesday, film the content, do your makeup beforehand, bring in someone if you have to, set the camera up, actually get the raw content, submit the briefs to the editors, or if you're the editor, do it yourself. Friday, upload the ads, have a look. If you finish early, cool, get started on the strategy for Monday. 3 hours a week, and it's unbelievable how quickly you can decompress from the overwhelm of like, how am I going to make all that stuff, and how much you can get out the door with like a 3 hour actual structured system.
Yeah. And it takes the stress away because you...
Because you just know,
Yeah.
well, I'm turning up to then, and I know I've got those 3 hours, and I know I've got a 4 hour block here, and I know I've got 6 hours of editor time and 2 hours of design time, and the work will fill the time. So you could spend 14 hours on a script, but if you know you've only got an hour
Yeah.
to get out 4 scripts 3 times a month, all good. And so it's just been really, really, again, another learning for us for what it means to have a system. And it's not just like you know, an Asana pipeline or a Trello board that you kind of plug in and out of. The, I think, most important part is actually that cadence that occurs every week where the people plug in, right? So that's something we're working on next. And annual strategy. So we've come into the new year, right? The theme of focus again. Could you talk through what you learnt last year and what your strategy is to grow significantly over the next, say, 3 years?
So I was really happy with last year's progress, but I'm always looking forward. And I have quite a healthy growth mindset. And I'm always looking at what the other brands are doing, which I don't know, that's a bit of a double-edged sword, but I'm always looking at what the other brands are doing. And I had this niggle in me, particularly I took some time off over Christmas and it was quite good just to step back. And I had this niggle in me, it's like, I'm just another Me Too brand and I'm doing what so many other brands are doing, and a new brand came out, massive brand came out and said, we're the first longevity brand in the world targeting the 12 hallmarks of aging. It's like, well, hello, I did that 2 years ago. So they've got all the money to shout in the world and pay the, you know, most famous people in the world to talk about it. And that's not going to stop. There's going to be more and more and more of them. And so I was like, I need to build a moat and I need to make what's my difference? What's my difference so people understand what it is? I have a moat. People can't come in and copy me. And started thinking about what that was. And I thought founder-led, spoke to ChatGPT, you know, got a feedback there and thought maybe it's founder, because all these other brands are run by 30-year-old men, 40-year-old men, not women founders who've been through the pain of aging. And then came to you and you had the aha moment, which took that to the next step, which was like, let's niche down and change the focus of the brand. And it turns out that we're going to focus on being a woman-specific brand.
Yeah, and so what does that mean for you? What does that mean, I guess, what does that look like? How do you do that?
Well, my first objection in my head was, what about all my guy clients? But you know, it doesn't matter. They can still keep taking it. It's not like it's a pink formula. What that means
you're
is
not allowed to have it.
Yes, yeah. The longer I've sat with it, the better it feels and the more comfortable it feels, because yes, I am a founder and I've been through that and I understand that. But I think it is an underserved market. There's a lot of work around menopause for women. Menopause for women has become huge. Like 10 years ago, no one understood it. We didn't understand it. The world wasn't talking about it. So now the world's talking about it and we can all put our hands up and say, we are suffering. But there's a whole other side to the story, which isn't just your hormones. It's you're actually aging as well.
Right.
So it's really about just taking the angle and saying, you're going through this. You need to look at it from this level as well. Look at the cells, look what else is going on, and be very woman-specific about it. Men are aging too, but they age in a different way. So it's just changing your voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in a gradual way?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an evolutionary process.
Right.
We're not going to suddenly change, tweak a product, make it more woman-specific, my second product.
Yeah, it's continuing this theme of focus. Let's focus on the ads. Do we get a couple of good ones? Let's take that product off and focus on this main thing. Let's create focus time in our calendar so we've got a clear system, you know. And now we're going, actually, let's focus on a clear avatar. And I think that's really interesting as well, because as the market gets more sophisticated, right, you've got to have an edge. And we went and looked around and went, hold on a minute, they're all run by men. They're all younger than so I know you're really big on that. Like, you shouldn't even take any men if you're 40, if you're under 40. What's the point?
Yeah.
And so you're going, oh, that's impossible to replicate, right? What are my best performing ads? I'm in them all. Hold on a minute. You know, who do I...
Talking about the pain.
Talking about the pain. Who do I represent? Why did I get into this? Oh, I got to 50. I couldn't go to the gym anymore. Oh gosh, that's me. Remember we had just when we were doing the strategy stuff yesterday, and you'd had the idea at the start to do like events for women about aging, and could you?
Well, seminars really.
Yeah.
Trying to help them understand a little bit about the science in a very dumbed down way and say, this is actually what's happening to your body, and these are the ways in which you can combat it.
With 2020 hindsight, it looks bloody obvious. Like it's like, why do we even have to do a strategy session to end up there, right? Why is that? What happened? Like you were planning women's only events at the start. You got into this for you. Where along the journey did it become for everyone?
I think from my perspective, I didn't have the confidence to niche down. And I believed it was a really good product for men too, and it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably about 20/80. I think 20% of my customers are men. And I know the men that are taking it absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But I think it was a confidence thing. I was like, okay, I'm just going to make this for everyone.
Because I'll do more sales. Like there's not enough juice in that market. I can't lose out.
Yeah, and I think that was the product. That's what I was concerned about with the other product, the skin. That was very much a female product. And I thought by presenting that, it was skewing it more to female, which it was. And but interestingly, we're coming back round to that.
Yeah, and then you go and I remember doing the persona journey with you. You drove that yourself, really. Yeah. You came out with like the biohacker, right?
Yeah, and that's the male.
And that's the male, and I think...
The rest of them were females.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And so then you go 80-20, and you go, okay. And so now you've got like a man and a woman on the site, right? And it's this like congruence thing and the ability to go deeper. And if you're, iMate, the fastest growing brand the world's ever seen, then sure, you can build congruent, specific funnels for big markets, but hard for us to do that, right? So then you go, all right, well, we're going to focus on women. Doesn't mean men can't buy it. I'm sure they will. They'll take a bit, whatever.
Well, their partners will be taking it. That's how I get most of my men now. Their wives are taking it.
There you
and
go.
They go, my wife's looking really hot.
Give me a piece of that.
Yeah, I don't want her to look that good.
Why is she looking so hot? And you're like, wow, it's these few ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. What is it about the product that makes you hot?
Well, it's not a vanity product. It's actually making you younger on a cellular level, so that shows up in your
And what
face.
is it that does that, though? It
seems
too good to be true.
Yeah, it does sound too good to be true. Well, NMN, being one of the key ingredients, works on your cellular energy inside your mitochondria, so that will give you the energy, which is the first thing you feel. But all the other ingredients are working away on a cellular level to reverse the processes. There's 12 processes that cause aging. Yeah. And all these ingredients work away to reverse those processes.
Yeah. And you're so confident in it that, you give money back guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow.
And a few people take it up because some people, it doesn't agree with them.
Yeah.
Might upset their stomach because there'll be one ingredient in it that doesn't agree with them. I think I've probably had maybe 10 refunds in 12 months. And it's not generally that it doesn't work. It's generally that they don't, there's something about the sensory side of it that doesn't work for them.
Yeah, well, so it's like...
Or they never take it.
It's bloody good for a customer too. Well, that's going to make me hotter. I'm in.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm going to live a longer, fuller life, which is and have a richer experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone should be on it. Why do you reckon everyone isn't on it?
Education, skepticism.
Where do they get the product?
agelesyou.co.nz.
Sorry guys, we just went into ad mode. I was like, that was too good of a hook. We need that. Yeah. That's bloody good. And the laughing and the authenticity in that as well is cool because it is real, right? That's these are real stories. It's why the podcast format's so good is because you can get that out.
Yeah.
There's an ad there. That's a goodie. I love that. I lost my place though. We'll leave this in the pod. It'll be all good. People can see that. What's happening? I'm being sold the product. Yeah. We were at Avatars. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing for everyone. My market's not big enough, I'll lose out, I won't be able to sell. It's the opposite every time. Oftentimes in business, you have to, like, whatever you're feeling, whatever the instinct is, it's inaccurate. The biology that runs our emotions can't comprehend the scale of the internet. Like, it's too hard for it. So it's like, oh gosh, can I? And I remember working through that process with you, and I didn't want to, like, shove it down your throat, because you wanted to kind of...
I needed to think about it and let it marinate.
And arrive there yourself, right? But when you do niche down, and you go woman, cool, you can still have 5 avatars, but you've got now more precise avatars within a specific constraint. We've given up 50% of the market, cool. So now we can go even deeper and more... just the word is precise with those people, because different avatars, different women are living over, that are aging gracefully, looking to improve their health span. They've got different issues, different problems. And so that leads us to one of the biggest strategies, which we're going to deploy for you this year. Huge amount of this has come from Harmby and Saw Media, Saw with us, who are like our IP partners, biggest agency group for D2C in the UK. Geniuses, right?
Oh, I follow them all the time. I watch every podcast.
You watch every podcast.
I love it. Can't wait for them to come out.
It's better. Yeah, gosh, I'm trying to get as good as their podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to have each of them on, hopefully. On Spill the Tea, and it'll be such a good conversation. I'm excited to talk to each of them about a different thing. And first guy we're having on is Joe. Did you meet Joe? Have you seen Joe on the podcast? He's one of the original founders of Saw.
I think he's been on one of the podcasts with Lucas.
You're talking about AI and stuff?
Yeah, yes.
Yes. Such a genius. That was a great podcast. Full funnel avatar marketing. So what the bar keeps going up, how precise can you get with your messaging for a specific customer? And so we're now going, the creative, cool, very specific, right? Telling a story to a specific consumer. Congruent landing page, talking to that consumer. We went single product store, but we still don't at this stage have specific landing pages, advertorials, 7 reasons why for a specific consumer, into congruent email sequence that matches up. And so 2 examples that we used for the Ageless You brand, you might have a high-powered corporate woman, right? And then you might have someone with 3 kids just having their first grandchildren. And
looking after her aging mother.
Cool. Different. And maybe someone's across both, that's cool. But if we talk to those 2 people specifically through the ad, through the landing page, through the email sequence, we're going to avoid jarring experiences, right?
I like that.
Jarring experiences.
Yeah.
One of the examples, right, is if you've spent your, a brilliant email for the mother of 3 having her first grandkid might be about, attending the soccer games on the sideline and keeping up with them and enjoying that. And that could be a really jarring experience for a woman that's decided not to have kids to go through, right? So you're going, okay, well, now that ads are so much more expensive, we need to do a better job of squeezing as much juice out of every bit of traffic.
Every click.
Every click matters all the way through the creative, the landing page ecosystem and the email system. And prior to AI, kind of impossible. Like for a smaller brand, you can't. The big brands have been doing this for a long time. They're big teams to do it. But now, if you've got your creative framework and the ones that work, and you've got your static ads, you've got your landing pages built, and you've got your email sequences built, it's not difficult to rewrite those scripts, rewrite the landing page copy, rewrite the emails, regenerate imagery, regenerate content with AI. I think
For each avatar.
yeah, for each avatar, right? So you can speak specifically to each one. We're not going to jump straight to that. We'll pick one and we'll stay on the one for longer than feels comfortable. And then there'll be a stage at which we go, right, what's number 2? What does that look like? And I think one of the things that people think, right, is, well, if I niche down, I'll lose all those other sales. It's like, not really. Your muddled, like, imprecise messaging is picking up this range of customers anyway. You speak to one specific person, you'll still pick up these customers, and that's often the litmus test or the gauge. Which avatar next? Instead of just us deciding, well, calling the customers, email surveys, post-purchase surveys. Who are you? What do you do? What do you look like? What are you into? What matters to you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look how many of the sporty, the woman that wants to enjoy sport and exercise the way she did.
Yeah.
Look how many of them are sitting next, even though we're not speaking precisely to them. What would happen if we went after that market? So I kind of just went into it like, that's a bit of a rant there. But when you look at that from your perspective, I guess, brand owner, a little bit less experienced than me, is there a daunting element to that? Does it make sense? What's your feedback?
About it.
Yeah, okay. Why are you excited about it?
Because it's just, I guess the business is maturing to a point that I can get to there. Because when I first came to you, I was like, I want to do landing pages because I'm a marketer at heart, so I just love that process and I love the psychology behind it and everything. And this is what this is, it's psychology. I mean, we're looking into the hearts and minds of the consumer, working out how do we best communicate with them and going niche. So I'm just excited about it. I just can't wait to get going.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah, and sure, there's a bit of work involved, but I'm not afraid of hard work.
Yeah, yeah. What are you hoping to achieve this year? What does it look like? What does success look like for you? Do you reckon?
3x my sales.
Yeah.
3 to 4x my sales.
Yeah.
I'd be really happy with that.
Yep.
Well on the way to becoming this more woman-specific brand.
Yep.
I'm really excited about the new product we're going to launch,
Yep.
which is more tweaked towards women and I think has a slightly broader market.
Yep.
And yeah, seeing just the journey, seeing where that takes us and managing myself and my health in the process. But the good thing is that I have to walk my talk.
Yeah. You're kind of baked in now, eh? You got to do
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
can't overwork and get stressed because, I'm the brand.
Yeah, you really are.
Yeah.
You really are. Do you know, I'd like to do one last thing before we finish up. I said I was going to put the links in the chat thing, in the link, but actually, let's review. Can we review those couple of breakout ads and talk about them, what they did, what they worked?
Yeah.
Do you know the cool thing as well? I'm sitting here, like, sometimes on the podcast, I'm like, I don't want to give away all the sauce. I just am so confident in this new strategy for you and the way we've put it together with some product innovation and it's got all the things. It's like, gosh, I love building like the best strategy with someone that can actually implement it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it just feels so safe. You can't, competitive advantage it's impossible to replicate. That's where I feel like we've landed, which is just such a nice thing. You're not arbitraging clicks, you know?
Yeah.
You're not on the hamster wheel forever. You're creating this little space, like you said, the moat, where you're just like, good luck copying me. What are you going to do? Live my entire life?
Yeah. And I've always been a believer of, do you want a tiny piece of a massive pie? Or do you want a bigger piece of a smaller pie? And that's really what niching down is. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, it's bloody exciting. I'm so excited about this year. I said on our last call, I started to go, so you thinking about investment? Like, you know, I said, when I start wanting to grab a piece of your company, that's when you know you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
And we'll screen share a little bit and we'll just go through. Have you got your computer?
Yep.
And this, funnily enough, and the reason why it's funny us doing this is a script framework from Harmony originally, yeah. Let's have a quick little watch of this. We won't watch the whole thing, but I'm going to watch the first little piece here.
Aging by the age of 50. I'm Lou McDowell. I'm the founder of Ageless You. I tried many supplements and routines. It was just incredibly confusing and really expensive. No money back guarantee. Awful experience, and no matter what I tried, nothing seemed to work. So I started researching the science myself. I dug into clinical data, trialed different formulations, and ended up combining 13 evidence-backed ingredients. Everything from NMN for cellular energy to L-theanine for my brain. Within weeks, I started seeing real changes. My sleep got deeper, my skin felt clearer, and my energy.
Benefits. Also, look at that and you go, well, that's purpose-built for you, right? That's every bit of that is authentic and truthful, but we hook with pain, we agitate pain really clearly, and then we're straight into benefits. And then when you go and look at the script framework, I suffered badly from target customer pain point. I tried everything. I'm the founder of brand name. My experience with XYZ market, found it incredibly hard to shop pain point. Going into stores, I found that quite an upsetting experience. Do you, and you just went line for line there. Do you remember when you wrote this, did you find that uncomfortable?
No, I found that really honest. I didn't like putting the really horrible photos of me up.
Yeah.
But writing it was, it was just honest. It was raw. Really easy.
So the tendency when we've got frameworks that are proven to work, that have blown up 100 businesses, whatever it is, well, this one's not 100, maybe 30, I've probably done like 30 of them. The tendency is for brands to want to change it. They don't want to just live within that framework.
That's the trust thing.
That's the trust thing. You're just like, okay, that framework, cool. I'll put my story in that.
And I'll write it, and you go, no, it's too long. You've got to go go back to the original framework and the original script.
Yeah, we drifted, in the latest iterations.
Because I always tend to go on a bit, because there's a lot to say, and I have to keep on cutting them back and keep on cutting them back, and then I might even cut them back even further in the end.
Yeah, get rid of the fluff. Like
less is more.
Yeah, show me the framework. No, not close enough. And we've done this so many times now, and it can probably work a little bit if it's inauthentic, but the ones that really work, there's that basis of truth. And this framework is simply a vehicle that allows you to get out of that fluff, because we all have that tendency towards a bit of fluff and a bit of extra and a bit of blah, blah.
Yeah.
This just keeps this keeps you super constrained, right? So found it a bit difficult to put the horrible photos in. That was a tough bit. Anything else tough about that?
No. I guess I had to get over myself, because I didn't want my friends to see my ads come across their feeds all day, every day, and they complain that I come up all the time, and I have to get over that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm growing a brand.
Yeah.
Turn them off.
Turn them off if you want. Yeah, here's how you get rid of them.
Yeah. But they're the first to say to me, Lou, you're looking amazing. You know, how do you do so much? So,
yeah, and then give you a bit of shit for the ads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. This, at that stage, 10 grand a month, whatever, doing basically no cash. You know, now we've gone to the next stage where we've gone back and hold on, we're going to iterate this really cleanly. And then you look at that and you go, $500,000 a month, $1 million a month. That story, there is space within that same framework, that same proven story-driven founder to tell a more precise version of your life that appeals to the different avatars. And it's still authentic. You're a mother, been a business owner your whole life, running different companies from restaurants to agencies, and you're an extreme sports wing foiler,
Yeah.
right? So you look at that and you go, oh yeah, well, all well and good for the little brands. And it's like, yeah, sure. But the magic, and I see this with $5 million a year brands, I see this with $10 million brands. The 10 mil a year plus, they kind of figured it out. You know, they've worked with a Humby or they've got an internal team, they're ballers, they get it, right? But that getting to that 10 million a year, exactly what happens as you described. There's some drift that happens. Get a win, drift. It's like other stuff. Hold on a minute. No. Back to like what worked. Where are we at? Not big changes. I want to see that ad. I want to see 60 versions of that ad. And I want to speak to something as well on this. People are misconstruing what Andromeda means and what Andromeda's doing.
With the creative diversity.
With the creative diversity. They go, no more, variants don't work anymore. It's like, yes, they do.
Yeah.
They just need to be more variated.
You've got to trick the algorithm.
They need to be more diverse.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No.
Like, I want to see that high prod. I want to see that even lower prod. I want to see that on a podcast. I want to see that framework via your top customers. I want to see a more precise avatar-driven version that speaks to the specific experiences for that target customer.
Or a voiceover version.
A New Year version.
Yeah.
I want to see it from the husband's perspective. My wife suffered badly from accelerated aging. She's Lou McDowell. We might get him in an ad one day, maybe. You know, and then we saw this lady online, Lou McDowell. She's the founder of. It's a different human. It's a different. You're going to get the net new reach. There's some in the race for the smart guys online to explain the new thing and get it condensed and have hype. The old way of creative's dead. There's a lot of noise that's happening.
You just got to really listen to it. I mean, you're right. That's what people are saying. But
That's
if
what
you
people are
actually
saying.
study it and really understand what that means.
I've got brands on the program, they're like, no, but variants are dead. Why would we bother? I'm like, no. One, they are not how you generate net new reach for a brand that's 5, 10, 20 million a year looking to really scale.
Get
No,
incremental, yeah.
variants aren't going to get you incremental net new reach and therefore growth. Absolutely. You're 50 grand a month, do 3 bloody hooks.
Yeah.
You're not looking for net new reach.
Yes.
You're trying to sell the guy the thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to take you an extra 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Go and steal that ad from, oh my God, I want to do that for a second. We're doing a bit of tactical stuff at the end. George is going to kill me for this, but I don't care. Go and steal that ad, put it into ChatGPT and go put my product in here, you know, and do a dozen of them in 20 minutes and chuck them into an ad set and give it $100 a day. It is really harmful for the smaller brands that are connecting to larger brand strategies. Larger brands didn't become larger brands by doing what large brands do.
Yeah. But I've been guilty of that because I'm always looking at my competitors going, what are they doing? What are they doing? You know, how are they doing it?
You're watching the Sohambi and it's like,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is elite stuff.
Yeah.
But like, that's not actually the pathway.
Yeah, and you've been
for
really
now.
good at pulling me back down from there too.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Let's keep
you
it
want to run
tight.
before you can walk. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see the second half of this.
No longer dipping at 3 p.m. That's how Ageless You Daily was born. One delicious drink that covers.
That's another key point in that ad is that you've got kind of 35 seconds of mostly pain agitation into benefits, into product reveal, right? It's another reason why this does well is because you're actually genuinely telling a human story, right? And today, if you're in there, product reveal immediately, you're not going to get scalability, not in the supplement
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah.
Your cellular health, your skin, your digestion, and your energy. And it's not just marketing, it's measurable. People are seeing changes in their skin, their gut, and even their biological age. And if you're not happy within 60 days, you get your money back. Ageless You isn't just about looking younger, it's about feeling sharper, sleeping better, and actually enjoying the process of aging well. That's what I wanted for myself, and that's what I've built for you.
That's what I wanted for myself, and that's what I've built for you. So good. In the script here, it's brand name, most unique selling point, and so you're going, okay, interesting. Like, you've started to maneuver around the script there, but you've still kept it tight, and then you've finished on your own call to action. So you've kept it tighter in the first half to the framework than the second half, right? Do you remember doing that? Was that specific?
No.
I think if you are replicating frameworks and you're using script templates, and there's a million, they're given away for free. If you come into our program, you'll get heaps of them, blah, blah. Staying closer to the script in the first half, more important than the second half.
Yeah.
You got a bit more room to maneuver in that second half, but keep the first half
Really tight.
really tight.
Yeah.
If that ad's running and you know that brand spent whatever on it for however many years, keep it tight there. The customers that are in for that second half, you can get more unique to your brand, right? They're already engaged. Awesome. That was one of the breakout ads. And then we've got this little podcast banger, right? I love doing this one. Podcast ads are an interesting dynamic, right? Because again, I think breaking the fourth wall on this marketing stuff is intriguing for a brand owner to do, because it's like a little bit like showing how the sausage is made, you know? And you go like, is it inauthentic to follow a script framework? I don't think it is. I know that's a problem. Like, is it inauthentic to do a podcast ad? I don't think it is. What's your perspective on a founder? Did you have to overcome any limiting beliefs there, or it just made sense to you?
No, it just made sense to me.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm a puppy dog. Tell me what to do.
Yeah.
You're showing me it's worked.
Yeah.
I've just got to replicate it.
Okay. Be more like Lou, guys. But
I would have enjoyed the process more if we just could have riffed.
yeah,
But yeah, you just got to be focused.
keep it tight.
And I was worried I was going to come across inauthentically because it was more script based, but it didn't seem to.
if you come across inauthentic, you won't sell.
Yeah.
That's the thing in this market.
Yeah.
If your product sucks,
Yeah.
then you're not going to get repeat purchases. Your business won't survive anyway.
Yeah.
One of the things that I say to help brands through the mindset issue that most have that you kind of didn't, it's not about you, it's not about the ad format, it's not about podcast or not podcast. It's about, do you believe in your product? Do you feel like it helps people? Do you donate a bit to charity, look after your church, look after your family, you're a good person? If you had more financial capacity and your product was used more, do you genuinely believe in your heart of hearts the world will be a better place? Yeah? Cool. Who cares? Cool. And so, yeah, if you're shilling something useless that is not, that everyone has a bad experience on, and you've got review management strategies like hopeless dropshippers do, cool. You suck. But I think the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
You've got a whole bunch of people in this game, and not all are good actors, right? Some are bad actors. You got to fight fire with some degree.
Yeah.
Play the game, get the ads, look after your customer, make the world a better place, right? And I think if you do feel a real struggle with the founder ads or different formats, and you don't want to script, and you go through that process, maybe you ask yourself, what do you need to change about your business and what you do for people to give you more confidence to sell at all costs?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I agree.
Okay, that's a goodie. Here we go. Here we are. Here's the guy. Ageless You actually help you stop aging.
Yes, it does. There's 3 things that matter most as you age. You've got to sleep well, you've got to move with exercise, and your nutrition. Ageless You is...
I think that's one of the best ad introductions ever.
The scroll stop was huge.
Scroll stop was huge, right?
Yeah,
Like
50%.
50%, right? And there's a couple of dynamics there. When you watch this ad, and if we put it on you've seen it a million times, right? You know what we're looking at. Does Ageless You actually help you stop aging? And it's part of the words, it's obviously the key pain point. Stop aging, human desires, not dying, top of the list, right? It's like the most important thing. But it's the skepticism and the body language and the microphone, all that format is going like, what is this guy? You know, what's going on here? Well, stop aging. We're not saying Ageless You helps you stop aging. Ad, heard it before.
Yeah.
You know, it's someone that's just as skeptical as you are, representing that in the facial expressions and the body language. I'm even leaning back a little bit. And I think when I talk to brands about, you know, we come through the accelerator or the discovery call, why would I work with you? And I'm like, well, I give away most of the stuff for free, and so does Saw, Hamby, etc. If you can't afford the money, you can't afford the money, that's all good. But there's this thing that happens when you're elite, you know, with a lot of experience, the fine tuning, the body language nuances in a ad that's hard to glean from YouTube, right?
Yes.
Or from an agency or from whatever. There's something about the knowledge transfer that happens when you're working really intimately and closely with someone, which is why, you know, I think one-on-ones are so critical. That's what our program's about. So we're replicating that, and then you just go deadpan, yes it does, bang, right? So you're on the spot, amazing. So in 4 seconds, we've matched the skepticism of the optimal customer, we've met them with resonance, we've called out the biggest pain point of all humanity and our customers specifically, and then you've gone, yes, you've made a big drastic claim without, yes it does, without too much fanfare.
But I don't go straight into product either.
But you don't go straight into product. The magic piece. The magic piece. Yes, it does. There's 3 things that matter when you age. Sleep, nutrition, exercise. All of a sudden the customer's nodding. They're nodding, right, to, well, I agree with all of that. And they're agreeing with, does Ageless You actually stop you from aging? Yes, it does. There's 3 things that matter. Not but, just bang, right? No fluff, no preamble, you're perfect. So within 10 seconds, and I think that's the magic of that ad, is that, matched skepticism into bold claim, into immediate non-product value statement. Yeah. That ad was how did we come to that? How did we end up with that? Do you remember the process?
I'd seen a competitor do something similar.
Something similar?
Yeah.
And then I think we were going through the scripting process and we were like, let's bang something punchy on the front end.
Yeah.
And so we chucked that hook in.
Yeah, the hook. Yeah, you came up with the hook, I think.
Yeah. Bang. And so that was the magic. Brands need to also consider that. Cloning competitor ads, like that, I think is becoming less and less powerful. There's a bit of pizzazz. 20%.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Get inspiration.
Yeah, it's inspiration and like use the framework and maybe run the framework exclusive, cool. Like how can you add something punchy, usually in the first half, ideally in the hook, in that opening stanza that makes it yours. Was the computer ad podcast style?
Yeah, but it was a mock podcast.
Mock podcast.
Someone was just talking.
Not a real one.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that have been done better, right? Brought in a really intelligent hook, made it a real podcast. So then when we go through this,
You is the nutrition your cells need to function like you're 20 years younger.
so it's like a multivitamin, basically.
Except it's more precise.
Gain, and we're starting, it's like still skepticism, right? Except it's more precise.
It tastes great, and we've put together 13 ingredients that can reverse your biological age. But what goes with that is more energy, better sleep, clearer mind.
Epic. So who's it for though? Like me or anyone? 40s, 50s? Like who's it for?
A little bit less skepticism, so there's this gradual softening, right? And I love in that section as well, you haven't said Ageless You delivers this benefit into your life. You've gone, Ageless You creates this impact in your body, which means this.
Translates to those, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone over 40. I started taking it in my 50s. My mum's been taking it for months, and all her friends have started calling her Benjamin Button. She's literally aging backwards.
Just bang, and that was source, right? Authentic.
Is that the one that's got the photo of her come up?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Can't replicate that, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't in the
Said didn't
competitor
think that
ad.
was real. I said, it is my mum.
Literally aging backwards, and I love that section as well. Who's it for though? Who's it for? No, anyone over 40. Exclusion. Oh, this is for me. Cool. Niching down.
My mum's been taking it for months and making a DNA test.
Yeah, I think my mum needs this. So it actually works.
So I'm on board now.
Yeah.
No, it works. I'm feeling stronger, sharper, more energetic than I have since I was 40.
Well, people should just get some of that. I'll be using it.
You've still got to move, you've still got to sleep, and you've still got to eat well. This is your best insurance policy you've got against aging.
Just love that.
I need to go and actually iterate that more and take it out of it. That's one thing I haven't done with that ad. I need to actually do what you suggest and make all these different iterations of that ad. Haven't done that yet. I've been focusing on the founder one.
Oh, bloody hell. I wish that was my idea.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's a win from this podcast.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It's so easy to get lost in the sauce, eh?
I
Like,
know.
obviously,
Yeah.
right? Such a brilliant script. I love how you finish again on the indirect close.
Yeah.
This is what matters. Yeah, gosh, that is true.
Yeah.
Because you're authentic about
Yeah,
it.
you're building credibility because you're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ageless You is the best insurance policy you could have.
Yeah.
Awesome. A really good example of modern format, body language resonance, a story, skepticism waning, and trust building, and delayed product reveal with like an agnostic sell. Just chef's kiss, right? And so I remember going through this journey, and that's what we needed to get to. We needed to get to that caliber of ad before we started doing TikTok-y stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And we've got it time and time again. You know, a couple of brands doing the program, you see them win posts, right? Oh, doubled our results in the ad account in week 1, you know, and it's usually not from adding more stuff. It's
Yeah.
from taking stuff away.
Yeah.
But that's bloody
Focus.
hard to sell,
Yeah.
you know? Hey guys, come and work with me and I'll help you do less stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there's this arms race of coaches and bloody agencies, and they're all, we'll do this. This is our source. This is this thing you haven't seen before. We'll audit your account. We'll give you all this juice. I don't know. I think that as the market continues to get harder, like the cream will rise to the top, and that's what I'm hoping to achieve with the podcast as well. It's like, you know, people watch it, they build trust, and you don't have to try and shout the fancy, loud stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just can be your authentic, genuine self, deliver a ridiculous hit rate for all your clients. And I think if you stay in that long enough, you'll get there. I think that's another probably lesson that translates for brands. Is like, have a brand and a product that you believe in so much that, sure, play with the modern creative ad types, etc., use frameworks, but don't bastardize, right? You can stand on this authentically and be like, yep,
Yeah.
all the way. Yeah, it's bloody cool. You got any pearls of wisdom or any final juice? I'm putting you on the spot here to share with.
Best thing I ever did for my brand was work with you guys.
Yay.
I know that in my heart, and I'm looking forward to the next 12 months with you guys. And you know, I've been pushed and it sometimes have been hard, but it would have been hard anyway. In fact, it would have been harder because I would have carried on not knowing what I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, just love working with you guys. I absolutely love it. I look forward to every gym and every call.
Yeah. Well, we love working with you too, mate. It's been a pleasure to 10x or whatever it is, the business, and it'll be cool to do that again from a larger base.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be fun.
I look forward to our podcast this time next year.
Yes, every year. We'll do an annual one for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I think this was a great podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.